In this video tutorial, we are going to understand what percentages are, and we're going to convert percentages to common and decimal fractions. A percentage is a fraction where the denominator is 100. That's a percentage, and percent means per 100 or divided by 100. Like 50%. What is the meaning of 50%? It means 50 over 100. And then this fraction can be reduced, isn't it? So we can start by dividing by a common factor here. The obvious one is 10. We can see by the zeros here. So when you're dividing by 10, you easily cancel this 0 and 0. You see that? So you've divided both the numerator and the denominator by 10. We're left with 5 over 10. And then what is the highest common factor between 5 and 10? That's 5. So we divide 5 by 5, we get 1. And then divide 10 by 5, we get 2. And then we have the answer is 1 over 2. So 50% is the same as 1 over 2. Right, 1%. 1% means 1 over 100. And then we cannot reduce this one further, so it remains as it is. 110%. You can get percentages above 100. Some people think that percentages they go up to 100. No, we can get percentages above 100. So 110% means 110 over 100. Just like I said, when you're dividing by 10, you can just cancel the zeros. If there are zeros, you may start by doing that when you're simplifying fractions. Right, what are we left with? We're left with 11 over 10. This cannot be reduced any further, but now we can convert it to a mixed number. 10 into 11 is 1, remainder 1. And then here we have 1 over 10. So it's 1 and 1 over 10 is a mixed number. Percentages may be converted to common fractions or decimal fractions. Right, let's look at these examples. 50%. 50% means 50 over 100. We've discussed that. So this is 50 over 100 as a common fraction. We said it is 1 over 2. Okay, but what is it as what? As a decimal fraction. Remember, dividing by 100 is very easy. You just move the comma 2 places to the left. Look at 50, write your 50. Right, where is the comma for 50? It is at the end of the number. So you move your comma is here at the end of 50. You move the comma to the left how many times? 2 times. So we say 1, 2. Now the comma is here. This is where the comma is. And then you put your 0 there. And then you put your 0 there. Okay. So it means 50%. It means 50% is equal to 0.50, which can be written as 0.5. All right. 80% as a common fraction is 80 over 100. Like I said, we're dividing by 10 first. So it's 80 over 100. Divide by 10. You cancel the zeros. We're remaining with 8 over 10. Right, what is the highest common factor between 8 and 10? The highest common factor is 2. So we divide 8 by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Then 10 divided by 2 is 5. So we have 80% as 4 over 5. Then as a decimal fraction, we said we write our 80. Right, where is our comma? Our comma is at the end here of the number of 80. Then we move with the comma 2 times to the left. So 1, 2. So now the comma is here. And then, so it means, and then we put 0 here at the end. Meaning that 80% is equal to 0.8. 150%, again, same thing. We write 150 over 100. Divide by 10. Cancel the 0. Cancel the 0. We are remaining with 15 over 10. Then the highest common factor between 15 and 10 is 5. So we divide 15 by 5, we get 3. We divide 10 by 5, we get 2. So the answer is 3/2. Okay, this is an improper fraction. You can write it as a mixed number. 2 into 3 is 1, and then where remainder 1. So it's going to be 1 and 1/2. The other thing you can do here, you can say break this into two fractions, like 3/2 is equal to 2/2 plus 1/2, isn't it? Then 2/2 is equal to 1, so we have 1 and 1/2. You could have done this also in this one. Here with 11/10, so we can break this into two fractions and say this is 10/10 plus 1/10. Then 10/10 is 1, and then 1/10 like this. Okay. Right, 150% as a decimal fraction. We write our 150, and then where's the comma at the end of the number? The comma is here. Then we move it how many times? 2 times to the left. When you're dividing by 100, you just do that. 1, 2. So meaning that the comma is here. So therefore, 150% is equal to 1,5. Right, you can pause the video here and do this activity, and then once you're done, you can mark your work. Right, let's do this together. We have 35% as a common fraction. We say 35/100, and then the highest common factor between 35 and 100 is 5. So we divide 35 by 5, get 7. Divide 100 by 5, we get 25. Then which is 7/25. Right, and then as a decimal fraction, we write our 35, and then we divide it by 100. So where is the comma? The comma is here. Then we move it how many times? 1, 2. So the comma is now there, and then we put a 0 there. So meaning that 35% is equal to 0,35. Okay, 120%. So 120/100. Then divide by 10. Divide by 10. Cancel the zeros. We're left with 12/10. Then the highest common factor between 12 and 10 is 2. So we divide 12 by 2 is 6. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So we're left with 6/5. Okay, which is what? Which is an improper fraction. And then we say 5 into 6 is 1. Remainder 1. So it's 1 and 1/5. Or you can say 6/5 is equal to 5/5 plus 1/5, and then which is 1 and 1/5. Okay, then 120% as a decimal fraction. Write to 120. Then where is the comma at the end of the number? So and then move it 2 times to the left. 1, 2, and then becomes what? So the comma is here. The comma is here, and then therefore 120% is equal to 1,2 as a decimal fraction. And then 8%, this is 8/100. Then the highest common factor between 8 and 100 is 4. We say 4 into 8, that's 2. 4 into 100, that's 25. Meaning that 8% is 2/25. Right, as a decimal fraction, write to 8. And then where is the comma at the end of the number? So it's here. And then we move the comma 2 times to the left. So it's 1, 2, meaning that the comma is now there. Then put a 0 here. And in this gap also you put a 0. So it becomes 0,08. Therefore, 8% is equal to 0,08. Right, and then let's do this one. Convert 8,5% to a decimal fraction. So you write to 8,5. 5, and then where is the comma? It is here. Then we move it 2 times to the left, so it becomes 1, 2, and then now the comma is here. Then put a 0 there, and then we put a 0 there. So meaning that 8.5% is equal to 0.085. And then 0.5%, you write your 0.5, and then we move the comma 2 times to the left. The comma is here, so we move 1, 2. So the comma is now here. Then put a 0 there, and then put a 0 there, meaning that 0.5% is equal to 0.005.